Hello, Shalom. Welcome to day 80 of the Daily Bread. We'll be starting in Leviticus 1, reading from 2 Samuel chapter 10. We're continuing in, reading Psalms 83, Proverbs 18, and Luke 23. Be in the scriptures, 2009. Leviticus on page 104, chapter 1. And Yahweh called to Moshe and spoke to him from the tent of appointment, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when any one of you brings an offering to Yahweh, you bring your offerings of the livestock of the herd of the flock. If its offering is an ascending offering of the herd, let him bring a male, a perfect one. Let him bring it at the door of the tent of appointment for his acceptance before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand on the head of the ascending offering, and it shall be accepted on his behalf to make atonement for him. And he shall slay the bull before Yahweh, and the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood all around on the slaughter place which is at the door of the tent of appointment. And he shall skin the ascending offering and cut it into pieces. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall put fire on the slaughter place and lay the wood in order on the fire. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall arrange the pieces with the head and the fat on the wood, which is on the fire on the slaughter place. But its entrails and its leg he washes with water. The priest shall burn all of it on the slaughter place as an ascending offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And if his offering is from the flock, from the sheep, or from a goat, as an ascending offering, let him bring a male, a perfect one. And he shall slay it on the north side of the slaughter place before Yahweh. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall sprinkle its blood on the slaughter place all around. And he shall cut it into pieces with its head and its fat. And the priest shall arrange them on the wood which is on the fire on the slaughter place. And the entrails and the legs he washes with water. And the priest shall bring it all and burn it on the slaughter place. It is an ascending offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. If the ascending offering of his offering to Yahweh is of birds, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it to the slaughter place and shall wring off its head and burn it on the slaughter place, and its blood shall be drained out at the side of the slaughter place. And he shall remove its crop with its feathers and throw it beside the slaughter place on the east side into the place for ashes. And he shall split it at its wings, but never sever it. And the priest shall burn it on the slaughter place on the wood that is on fire. And it is an ascending offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. Moving over to Samuel's 10 on page 325. And it came to be that the sovereign of the children of Ammon died, and Huan his son, reigned in his place. And David said, "Let me show loving commitment to Haman, son of Nahash, as his father showed loving commitment to me." So David sent by the hand of his servants to comfort him concerning his father. And when David's servants came into the land of the children of Ammon, the chiefs of the children of Ammon said to Hanan, their master, "Is David esteeming your father in your eyes, in that he has sent comforts to you? Has David rather not sent his servants to you to search the city and spy it out and to overthrow it?" So Han took David's servants and shaved off half their beards and cut off their garments in the middle as far as their buttocks and sent them away. And they informed David, and he sent to meet them because the men were greatly ashamed. And the sovereign said, "Wait at Jericho until your beards have grown, and then return." And when the children of Ammon saw that they had become a stench to David, the children of Ammon sent and hired Arameans of Beth Rehob and Arameans of Shehob, 20,000 foot soldiers, and the sovereigns of Machash, 1,000 men, and the men of Tob, 12,000 men. And David heard and sent Joab and the entire army, the mighty men. And the children of Ammon came out and put themselves in battle array at the entrance of the gate. And the Amorites of Shehob and Rehob and the men of Tob and Mahak were by themselves in the field. And Joab saw that the battle line was against him before and behind, and he chose out of all the children of Israel and put them in battle array against the Arameans. And the rest of the people he gave under the hand of Abish his brother, and he put them in battle array against the children of Ammon. And he said, "If the Arameans are too strong for me, then you shall help me. But if the children of Ammon are too strong for you, then I shall come and help you. Be strong and let us show strength for our people and for the cities of our Elohim, and let Yahweh do what is good in his eyes." And Joab drew near, and the people with him, to battle against Aram, and they fled before him. And when the children of Ammon saw that the Arameans were fleeing, they also fled before Abish, and went into the city. And Joab returned from the children of Ammon and came to Jerusalem. And Aram saw that they were smitten before Israel, and they gathered together. And Hadadezzer sent and brought out the Arameans who were beyond the river, and they came to Helmim. And Sobak, the commander of the army of Hadadezzer, went before them. And it was reported to David, and he gathered all Israel and passed over the Jordan and came to Helam. And Aaron sent themselves into battle array against David, and they fought with him. And Aram fled before Israel, and David killed 700 charioteers and 40,000 horsemen of Aram. And he struck Sobak, commander of their army, who died there. And all the servants of Hadadezzer, saw that they were smitten by Israel, and made peace with Israel, and served them. And the Arameans were afraid to help the children of Ammon anymore. On to Psalms 83 on page 694. O Elohim, do not remain silent. Do not be speechless. Do not be still, O El. For look, your enemies make an uproar. Those hating you have lifted up their head. They craftily plot against your people and conspire against your treasured ones. They have said, come, let us wipe them out as a nation, and let the name of Israel be remembered no more. For they have conspired together with one heart. They have made a covenant against you. The tents of Edom and the Yezemites, Moab and the Hagarites and Gebel and Ammon and Amalekite, Philistia and the inhabitants of Sur. Ashur also has joined with them. They have helped the children of Lot, Salah. Do to them as to Midian, as to Sisera, as to Yevon, at the Wadi, Cushan, who perished at Endor, who became as dung for the ground. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeb, and their princes like Zehab and Solomon, who have said, let us take possession of the pastures of Elohim for ourselves. O my Elohim, make them as whirling dust, as stubble before the wind, as a fire consumes a forest, and as a flame sets mountains on fire. So pursue them with your whirlwind, and frighten them with your storm. Fill their faces with shame, and let them seek your name, O Yahweh. Let them be ashamed and alarmed forever, and let them become abashed and perish. And let them know that you, whose name is Yahweh, you alone are the most high over all the earth. Proverbs 18 on page 745, but I need a little lubrication for the throat there. Proverbs 18 on page 745. The separatist seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound wisdom. A fool does not delight in understanding, but in uncovering his own heart. When a wrong one comes, scorn comes too, and with shame comes reproach. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The fountain of wisdom is a flowing stream. It is not good to show partiality to the raw, or to turn aside the righteous in right ruling. A fool's lips enter into strife, and his mouth calls for blows. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are the snare of his life. The fools of a slanderer are like delicacies, and they go down into the inner parts of their heart. Also, he who is slack in his work is a brother of a master destroyer. The name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his own imagination. Before destruction, the heart of a man is haughty, and before esteem is humility. He who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. The spirit of man sustains him in sickness, but who does bear a broken spirit? The heart of the understanding one gets knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gift makes room for him, and brings him before great men. The first to state his own case seems right, until another comes and examines him. The lot settles disputes and separates between the mighty. A brother transgressed against is a strong city, and contentions are like the bars of the citadel. A man's stomach is satisfied from the fruit of his mouth. He is satisfied with the increase of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Those loving it eat its fruit. He who has found a wife has found good and receives favor from Yahweh. The poor speaks beseechingly, but the rich answers fiercely. A man of many friends might come to ruin, but there is a loving one who sticks closer than a brother. Loving one is capitalized. So, on to Luke 23. Yeshua has been taken and is before the Pharisees. He's being mocked and beaten. That's where we're at now. Luke 23 on page 1016. And the entire assembly of them, having risen up, led him, Yeshua, to Pilate, and began to accuse him, saying, We found this one perverting the nation, and forbidding to pay taxes to Caesar, saying that he himself is Messiah, a sovereign. And Pilate asked him, saying, Are you the sovereign of the Judean, the Jews? And answering, he said, You say it. And Pilate said to the chief priests and the crowd, I find no guilt in this man. But they were insistent, saying, He stirs up the people, teaching through all Judea, beginning from Galilee until this place. And when Pilate heard of Galilee, he asked if the man were a Galilean. And when he learned that he was under the authority of Herods, he sent him to Herods, who was also in Jerusalem in those days for the festivals. And seeing Yeshua, Herods rejoiced greatly. For a long time he had wished to see him, because he had heard much about him, and was anticipating to see some miracle done by him, and was questioning him with many words, and he gave him no answer. And the chief priests and the scribes stood accusing him intensely. And Herod with his soldiers made light of him, and mocked him, dressed him in a splendid robe, and sent him back to Pilate. And on that day Pilate and Herod became friends with each other, for before that they had been enemy with each other. And Pilate, having called together the chief priests and the rulers and the people, said to them, You brought this man to me as one who turns away the people. And look, I have examined him in your presence, and found no guilt in this man regarding the charges which you make against him. And neither did Herod, for I sent you back to him. And look, he has done none at all of deserving death. Having disciplined him, then I shall release him. For he had to be released to for he had to release one to them at the festival. And they cried out all together, saying, Away with this one, and release to us Barabbas, who had been thrown into prison for a certain uprising made in the city, and for murder. Wishing to release Yeshua, then Pilate appealed to them again, but they were calling out, saying, Impale him. And when he said to them a third time, Why? What evil has he done? I found no reason for death in him. Having disciplined him, then I shall release him. But with loud voices they insisted, asking for him to be impaled and the voices of those men and the chief priests were prevailing. I'll pause here for a second. In when Yeshua enters into the city for the beginning of Pesach, they're crying. They're saying, Hoshashina, Hosanina. They're praising him. He come on a donkey and all. Well, my question I have is that, are some of these the same people? Because we know how people can kind of go with the flow, if you will. Finishing. Let's continue on. Chapter 23, 24. Pilate pronounced sentence that they asked should be done, and released the one they asked for, who was for uprising and murder, had been thrown into prison, but he handed Yeshua over to their wishes. And they led him away, and they laid hold of a certain man, Simon Caesarion, who was coming from the field, and they put a stake on him to bear it behind Yeshua. And a great number of people were following him, and women who also mourning and lamenting him. But Yeshua, turning to them, said, Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For look, days are coming in which they shall say, Blessed are the barren and wombs but that never bore, and the breasts that never nursed. Then they shall begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. Isaiah 2, 19 and 20, and Hoshea 10:8. Because if they do this to the green tree, that is going to be done to what is going to be done to the dry tree. And two others, also evildoers, were led with him to put to death. And when they had come to the place called Golgotha, they impaled him there, and the evildoers, one on the right and the other on the left. And Yeshua said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. And they divided his garments and cast lots. Psalms 22:18. And the people were standing, looking on, and the rulers also were sneering with them, saying, He saved others. Let him save himself, if he is the Messiah, the chosen of Elohim. And the shoulders were mocking him, too, coming and offering him sour wine, and saying, If you are the sovereign of the Judeans, save yourself. And there was also an inscription written over him, in letters in Greek and Roman and Hebrew. This is the sovereign of the Judeans. One of the evildoers who were hanged, and speaking evil of him, saying, If you are the Messiah, save yourself and us. But the other responding rebuked him, saying, Do you not even fear Elohim, since you are under the same judgment? And we, indeed, rightly so, for we receive the due reward of our deeds. But this one has done no wrong. And and he said to Yeshua, Master, remember me when you come into your reign. And Yeshua said to him, Truly I say to you today, you shall be with me in paradise. And it was now about the 6th hour, and darkness came over all the land until the 9th hour. And the sun was darkened, and the veil of the dwelling place was torn in two. And crying out in a loud voice, Yeshua said, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Psalms 31:5. And having said this, he breathed his last. And the captain, seeing that took place, praised Elohim, saying, Truly, this man was righteous. And when all the crowds who had gathered to that sight saw what took place, they beat their breasts and went away. And all those who knew him and the women who followed him from Galilee stood at a distance watching this, and see a man named Joseph, a council member, a good and righteous man. He was not agreeing with the council, indeed, from Ramoth in a city of the Judean, who himself was also waiting for the reign of Elohim. He, going to Pilate, asked for the body of Yeshua, and taking it down, he wrapped it in linen, and laid it in a tomb hewed out of the rock, where no one was laid yet. And it was preparation day, and the Sabbath was approaching, and the women who had come with him from Galilee followed after, and saw the tomb, and how his body was laid. And having returned, they prepared spices and perfumes, and they rested on the Sabbath according to the command. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible and talk to the Father.